Knocker here, as always, and today we're going to take a look at the winners and honorable mentions for my recent DCS World Screenshot competition. Now I'm sure you guys are all having a ton of fun with the new DCS World update that brought to us some Scud-B launchers for the Iranian and Iraqi factions within DCS World, and I certainly have been having fun with it too, and as you can see in this video here. But hopefully you guys can take a little bit of a break from Scud hunting over the mountains of Iran and come back to YouTube and take a look at some of the awesome, fantastic screenshots that were submitted to the screenshot competition. Now, the prize for the screenshot competition was originally going to be a DCS F-16C Block 50 Viper, but the winner already had an F-16, so we swapped it out for a pre-order of the DCS World Supercarrier module that's coming out, and he was very, very happy with that. So I'm super happy to make him happy, and I'm glad that everyone had a fantastic time. So let's go ahead and take a look at some honorable mentions, and at the end we'll take a look at the first place, second place, and third place winners. Alrighty, so the first runner-up we're going to take a look at is from a guy who goes by Stolas on Discord, and I really like this image. This was a very cool image. The only reason we didn't put this one in the winner category in first place, second place, or third place is because it's using a mod to increase the resolution of the ground textures, which is super, super cool, and I was super thrilled to learn about this. But the rules of the competition were we were going for very, very straight up vanilla DCS. This one is from Breadstick, who is actually the creator of the second place winner for the competition, and I really, really like this one, as well as the other people who were judging the screenshots. It really, really conveys a lot of motion and the speed of the F-18 that's in the picture here without going overboard. You know, it's a very minimalist screenshot, and I kind of like that aesthetic when it comes to DCS World screenshots, where it just kind of portrays that one piece of the puzzle. This screenshot comes to us from Jason M on Discord, and he's flying what looks like to be a Greek Spitfire, shooting down a ME-109 over the Normandy map, I would suppose. And it's a very cool screenshot. I really like the perspective. I really like how the pilot's head is turned and actually looking at the BF-109 in question here. And I think it's a really great shot, and definitely deserves to be within the honorable mentions here. Next one we've got here is from Mace DK over on Discord, and I really, really like this image. I really like the afterburner coming out of the back of that F-16 with a very, very high altitude shot over the Nevada map, and the clouds out there in the background in the distance really, really portray a feeling of altitude and distance in this photo. I think it's really, really good, and I think a very high resolution version of this photo would make for an excellent desktop background or something of that nature, maybe even a poster. This one comes to us from NASA Pilot, as he goes on Discord, and it is a very cool shot of a F-14B Bombcat in the distance, silhouetted at sunrise or sunset. Not sure which one it is, but we can definitely tell it's a Bombcat in this picture because of the GBUs in the tunnel that we can see sticking out there in front of those external fuel tanks. Very cool shot. I'm always partial to Tomcat, that's for sure, and so were the people who were judging the competition as well. This one's a funny shot, actually. This one comes from Paul on Discord, and he actually took this screenshot of me. He was spectating one of our missions. I was firing this missile, flying the JF-17. As soon as this missile connected with the target, which I believe was an aggressor F-16, DCS World crashed. It was a crash as a result of the new JF-17, and was really truly a bummer because we were having a ton of fun in that mission. Things were going right, and then boom, done. Mission leader gone. This one comes from Per Von Hark. He came up with a bunch of really, really awesome images here. This is an Iranian F-14B sitting on the ramp at one of the airfields in Iran with some Phoenixes in the tunnel, of course, on those Phoenix pallets. And it's just a really, really pretty picture. Per Von Hark here has really done some really cool stuff in terms of perspective with his screenshots, so they were fantastic. You know, I wish I could have picked multiple winners and given all of these guys F-16s, but financially I couldn't really swing that. Here's another one from Mr. Per Von Hark, and it's just another really cool perspective. It looks like this F-14 was like flying up, getting some juice from a KC-135, and you know, the boom operator was taking a nice picture of those pilots looking up as they're trying to get their probe into the basket. Very, very cool picture. I really like the perspective on this one. So we'll move on to the next one, which is another Per Von Hark, and this is a F-14 catching a wire on the deck of one of the aircraft carriers, like 74, John C. Stennis. Like, yeah, that's the aircraft carrier we have in DCS World at the moment. Very cool shot. I really like all the airplanes stacked up on the deck. It looks like they're all Hornets, but that's okay. And of course, we've got an E-2D sitting around there as well. Very cool shot. Very well put together. Like I said, I wish everyone could have won an F-16 in this one because we got so many fantastic screenshots. This one comes at us from Spectre 570. It's a very cool shot. We've got some S3s on the bow catapults of 1 and 2 there, and some F-14s on Cats 3 and 4, with a perfectly timed screenshot here with the lightning off in the background with a sunrise, it looks like, on the Persian Gulf. Just a very cool shot, really good timing. That afterburner on the F-14 is very cool. The screenshot was a bit low quality, unfortunately, so we didn't really think that one was worthy of winning that top spot. Strike 2, this is his first entry. He also put in a bunch of entries, some really, really cool shots of F-14s on the deck of carriers on the John C. Stennis in DCS, and so he came up with a bunch of really awesome photos of F-14s. His photos were super interesting and had a lot of interesting perspectives. They were colorful in the foreground, but very, very light and almost white in the background. And I'm not sure if he was using some sort of like very, very high overcast or something like that in DCS World. But here's his second image here, and I really, really like this one. I kind of like that old school paint on those F-14s, VF-84 and VF-1 there. I'm not sure what that middle Tomcat squadron is, but some very, very cool pictures here. Once again, you know, wish I could have given an F-16 to everyone because we got some really awesome photos or screenshots. This is another one from Strike. This F-14 just looks mad, man. He's coming down on a strafing run on some sort of target. The loadout on this Tomcat's a little bit funky with 2 Phoenixes on the forward pallets. I don't see anything on the back pallets, and then 4 Mark 20 Rockeyes on the shoulder stations, which is kind of a funny loadout, but hey, whatever works, and it's seriously a super cool screenshot. So thanks a lot, Strike, for all of your submissions. Next one's coming at us from Tail. I thought this one was very cool. Just showed off some very cool light during the winter time on the Caucasus map. We've got the moonlight reflecting off of the snow on the Caucasus map. And I don't know if you guys realize this, but the ground during the winter time on the Caucasus map is actually reflective like it would be with real snow. And that's a very cool little detail in DCS World that I think some people might miss if they don't look closely enough or try it out. So we come to our very last honorable mention, and that comes from Waterman PC, and this is a fantastic shot. Honestly, I wish that we had voted on this one and brought this one a bit higher a little bit earlier, because once after we cut off the competition and I was making this video, I went back and looked at this photo, and I really, really like this photo. So sorry about that, Waterman. But I really love it. The perspective's fantastic, all different things going on it. The ramp at Nellis Air Force Base on the Nevada map's really, really nice. And we've got our third place finalist here. It comes from Spectre 570 again. So this is the second shot we're seeing from him. And I just really, really like this one. And so did the other supporters of my channel who voted for this one. Just the color palette, the gradient of color as it's going through the screenshot is very, very cool. The tail of that F-16 in the background there, the number 1 guy in the formation, is very, very cool. It's very pretty. The mountains on the bottom that are really, really silhouetted. I think the only thing that could have been better in this screenshot, to me at least, would probably be to have it, kind of scooched over to the left just a little bit to get the rest of that sun in there, and it would have been absolutely perfect. But I think this really, really shows off how beautiful the lighting in DCS World can be. And I'm super excited for what Eagle Dynamics comes up next as they revamp the lighting system within DCS World. I think that's going to be very, very cool coming up here in the future. So let's move on to the second place winner. The second place winner comes from Breadstick. We already saw another photo from him that was an honorable mention. And I think this one is just very, very cool. It's somewhere on the ramp on the Persian Gulf map, F-14. He's a 6-shooter, so he's got 6 Phoenixes loaded up on this F-14. And it is very, very, very cool picture. It looks mean to me. That F-14 looks dirty and old and beat up, but still ready to go. It looks like there's action occurring in that photo to me. We've got the nose wheel canted to the side as he's taxiing. It just looks like a really, really cool picture to me. I think it just makes the Tomcat look at its meanest and at its nastiest and at its most ferocious, whereas a lot of other pictures make the Tomcat just look very, very beautiful. And so really good job, Breadstick. You just missed out by just a little bit on that first place winner. And so why don't we go ahead and move on over and check out that finalist and first place winner for the screenshot competition. So this is the winner of the screenshot competition. It comes from Dice on Discord, and it's a very cool shot. It's a super minimalist shot. He just kind of was taken off and was like, hey, that's a cool shot. So he zoomed in the FOV on the outside of his F-18 and just took the shot. I mean, there is one small flaw in the fact that the label, the dot label, is still in there if you look super, super closely. But other than that, I think the shot is really cool. That sun looking nice and big behind the vertical stabilizer of that F-18. He's got LGBs hanging off the jet. He's got a bit of some perspective going on with kind of the foreground of the wings kind of out of focus, but in focus in towards the fuselage of the jet. I think it's super minimalist and super pretty. The color is very, very nice. And as a result of that minimalism and that nice color, it just turns out very great. And I will give a link to download on my Discord to download this screenshot if you want to have it as a background, because it is a really, really cool screenshot to have as a background. So I hope you guys liked the submissions. I thought they were all fantastic, and like I said, I wish I could have given out, you know, a whole bunch of F-16s, but that just wouldn't have been financially possible for me right now, and so we tried our best. So thanks a lot, guys, and enjoy hunting those scuds.